Best account structure, if you're spending more than 5K a month, I would say, on ads, you should be transitioning into this kind of structure. This idea, obviously, for higher budgets like 10K plus a month. But you might be in the place now you actually transition into, or you might want to get some insight. Some things are actually implementable that I'm going to be addressed in low budget as well, around like core key concepts, how to approach this. But this is the best structure that I've seen for being basically in top communities, working in top agencies, and from my experience, we're working with over like almost 50 brands, I think, now, and over 10 million in ad spend. I have seen throughout my career and been in the market since 2018, 19. But that doesn't really matter. Let's actually matter how you can actually implement this. So this is like the core 4 campaigns. You don't really need more campaigns. Like the biggest mistake that I've seen when actually auditing account is that they use outdated strategies that they used to work like back in 2017, 18, maybe 19. Things are really evolved now. You need to be a bit more consolidated structure. You don't need loads of assets. You don't need a lot of those campaigns. So these are the 4 campaigns with some slight caveats to that I'm going to be addressing throughout this video. So there are a couple more that you might reduce or you need to strip away some. So the core thing is you need to have a creative testing campaign, top of funnel core campaign where you actually scale your business and your ads. So the creative test campaign will be your bread and butter. This is where all the testing can happen. You can use it only for creative testing, or you can make it a bit more general. You can throw some testing of your audience as well there if you want to, like a more general testing campaign. My focus and your focus should be on creating high quality and high converting ads. This is what actually will move the needle in your business and really allow you to scale. If you have the testing process in place, which I'm doing a separate video to that, and testing and scaling process to place. So what do you do in the testing campaign? The whole purpose is to actually find creative winners and that you can then let it scale and get insight on or like creatives that work and angles that work. So it's very important that obviously I would say, first of all, don't exclude customers to actually increase engagement, because obviously the less exclusions you actually use for Facebook, it is better for Facebook to find like the high purchase intent customer. So I do recommend using exclusions, just to be clear here, on the core campaigns when you actually go and scaling, but this will increase engagement. You might actually do a bit of remarketing of people who have already like engaged with your brand. But first of all, first point we want to take home: do not exclude customers during engagement. Run this on an ABO budget. So for example, this is just an ABO. Don't use advanced campaigns, but you're gonna have just one ad set with all your core demos. I'm not gonna go into the full breakdown because it will take a long time. You can actually couple your tests by statics or UGC videos, or by creator, or by angle. There's different ways to test. I'm gonna do a separate video on that, which I think is the most efficient way. But yeah, just add your creative there, however you want to test. Really focus on test one variable at a time. And this again, if the test is working, increase budget by 20% every 3 or 4 days. In order to scale, I like to follow the 72-hour rule, where you test one single variable every 72 hours and you just leave it for 72 hours and you reassess every 3 days basically. So that's the testing campaign. Then you're gonna have a core campaign, like a top of funnel campaign here, like that, evergreen campaign, how you wanna call it. I like to test 3 main things, like a broad, an interest tag, and a broad lookalike audience of that. Obviously, all these ad set will have ads here that are the top performing ads from your test campaign that you have actually promoted there. This is where you actually focus on pushing more reach and spend behind the winning elements and really scaling the account and so on and so forth. So I recommend actually just as much as possible use broad audiences and only the winners here that you've actually emerged from your creative testing. So then what I like to also use is an advanced buzz campaign. If you don't know that, is a actually recent campaign. I mean, it's like almost a couple of years, but now I think it's really rolled out everywhere. And these are advanced buzz campaigns. Again, we are using ads from a test campaign, so it in a way it mirrors the core campaign, but they are working a bit differently from an algorithm perspective. And we have seen great efficiency at scale from the advanced buzz campaign. use all the winning ads from your test campaign. Start pretty high, I would say, depending on your AOV and CPA levels, but I really start high, like at least $300, I would say, or euros. Set a customer budget to 0, to really, to force Facebook really to do the prospecting and not just do retargeting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, on the scaling campaign, the difference is I would test 3 main audiences. Once you find a winners, like most of the time, basically it will be, just to be clear, a broad audience and an interest tag audience. Lookalikes have been less efficient, although worth testing, especially if it's actually from a customer list. So it's not from like a pixel audience, which have really negatively impacted from our iOS updates, to be honest. But yeah, use the winning ads from the test campaign as well on the core evergreen campaign. And then what we actually like to leverage is your remarketing campaign. Now, there's a lot of things going out there, like don't use remarketing, marketing that works. I still think it works, and I still think it's very good way to actually retarget people. It's not that, obviously some brands, like you need to test that, it sometimes doesn't work. You don't need to actually leave it on just for the sake of remarketing. Now, if you coverage on that, now I like to actually have a middle funnel, bottom funnel, like actual campaign here, middle funnel and bottom funnel ad sets. So for example, the middle funnel ad sets is mostly, I like to use engagers, maybe visitors, use audiences. I like to also use them mostly like 25%, 50% video views. But just to be clear here, I like to use engagers and visitors. And on my bottom funnel, it will be just out of cart, and basically if you have like a customer list, you're gonna do repeat. If you have like an offer, you can throw them into customer list and just throw repeat buyers basically. But bottom funnel, it will be something like view content out of cart for most of the time. It will depend on your audiences, how much traffic you have, so on and so forth. In some brands, I don't use it at all. That's because I don't have enough audiences for like engagers, or visitors, or even like bottom funnel audiences. Here, if you cover to that, if you have a wide range of SKUs, so a lot of products and that, and it will be like a fashion or jewelry brand, something like that, which works very well. I really recommend having a DPA, so a dynamic remarketing campaign, which basically very simple to set up. If you go to setup, it's just basically it's actually like a catalog campaign. It will remarket basically all people who have actually interacted with certain product ID on the website. So for example, if I go here, you're just gonna go catalog, you're gonna keep that on because it's actually a catalog. And then if you go here on after level, you should create like a catalog here, you should have your product sets. Again, it depends, but on the DPA, I like to have like all products here basically, and always go with purchase. I just, obviously on the video fly is more like account structure focused, but that's really not what we want to propose here. But yeah, and just you populate basically some feeds here from your website. So just to be clear, this is another thing to have SKUs, and if you have again SKUs, you can throw, which working very well recently, some prospecting campaigns. So the same way we actually go about on the remarketing campaign, but I really just failed to show you just previously. If you go to asset level, you're gonna find 2 options here. You have the retarget campaigns, which you're gonna throw. Then this is like the DPA, dynamic product catalogs basically. And here the prospective customers are prospecting, so it doesn't really it's not like people who have interacted with your brand. So you can use it the same way. The only caveat when you actually go on DABA, so prospecting with catalogs, I would recommend having a few different assets here. So creating different product sets. For example, it might be your best selling products. It might be different categories. It might be higher V items, the lower V items to really push V items. Because what I actually found is when you actually use DABA, Facebook really try to get the purchase, and it finds like those lower V items do get a bit of the purchase intent. So I recommend segmenting higher V, lower AOV items, but that's pretty much it here. Last caveat I would say, when actually scaling, I like to have a separate campaign, which is gonna be an actual manual bidding campaign. This way I actually test cost caps basically, which is just manual bidding. It's very simple again to set that up. Again, what we do in this campaign, I like to promote some of the core winning ads, which have emerged, maybe like 1 or 2 winners from like the top of funnel campaigns, as well, that we have put significant budget, just squeeze more out of the asset, hit it with different ad types, with bidding strategies, and lower the CAC on the account. So there are two ways you can do it. Here when it says cost per result control, this is basically the cost cap thing. So you can do low cost cap and high budget. So I can maybe, let's say that I have like a CPA of 20. Let's say I want to test like 10, if I can get like any results at 10. But you're gonna set the budget like, I would say like at least 20 to 50 times the CPA. So that will be like around, but you need to set it at least like 300 or something like that, $300 euros. Or you're gonna do the opposite. You can do like a high cost cap. So you might just want to raise it up and be more flexible. So it's gonna be like 25 for sure, how it gets spent. You might just throw like maybe 100, for example, maybe 5 to 10 times the CPA. So very effective at scaling. I use it all the time. I like cost caps. I don't know what everybody says that media buy instead. I like cost caps to use when I'm scaling. Obviously they take a bit more hands-on work, but I think they have like significantly, in some cases, help with really controlling CPA scale, basically, I would say. But the point that I really want to leave you with that, don't complicate it, keep it as simple as possible. You only need like 3 to 4 campaigns. Again, retargeting, usually like leverage in maybe some sales periods as well, if it doesn't work, for example. So the main thing I want to leave you with that will give you the most results is you need to focus on increasing AOV, repeat purchase rate, and focus on creating high converting campaign, having clear testing to scaling approach. This will actually move the needle, not having 20 different campaigns and really complicated things in that account. I know it doesn't really sound that cool, but that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know below. And I have some links in the description that might help you out if you need maybe a bit more support from me. So thanks a lot, have a good day.